Hello everyone, my name is Catherine Lowry. I'm Chief Information Officer and Head of Incubator at BakerHostetler. Today I'm joined with Elaine Dick, who is also a Knowledge Management Manager here at Baker, and we together are going to present the AI-powered law practice from data to innovation.
So let's get started. In order to have an AI-powered practice, you need to ask the fundamental question: can we build a data-driven law firm? We think the answer is yes. And at BakerHostetler, we've been on this journey since 2015. And we're here to show you a couple frameworks and some tools that will help you along your journey. First and foremost, have a data strategy framework. This is one that we've been using for years. It started with a data flow analysis at the bottom, understanding what data sources we had across the firm, what were systems of record, what was integrated, what were sitting as data silos. Next, and what I think is so important for this conversation, given that we're talking about AI, is data discovery. This is an access point for your citizen data scientists to be able to traverse and analyze integrated data sets and be able to generate answer sets that are related to business questions. This is the access to raw data that we've used for machine learning and that we hope to be using for generative AI as well.
The legal industry has a big tax problem. Our assets reside in our human workforce and the significant amount of raw information they create. This information is often found in PDFs, Word documents, spreadsheets, time narratives, and more. As you begin to look at harvesting this data, you will quickly see that the tip of the iceberg, only around 20% of it, is structured, which is great. But the other about 80% is unstructured. In order to effectively utilize this 80%, we need to refine it into a structured format. Now, can generative AI solve our unstructured data problem? This year, our Incubator team sought out to find the answer to this question in the context of court filings, and we started with complaints. The majority of the complaints are unstructured text using unpredictable verbiage, often unique to the author of the complaint. We wanted to know, can we use generative AI to harvest information such as alleged injuries, supporting facts, and relationships between parties in a way that would allow us to gain meaningful insights from each complaint?
With the introduction of new technology like generative AI, we would strongly encourage you to use an innovation framework. It's a disciplined approach to evaluating the new technology, exploring and helping mitigate risks, being able to create and share knowledge on your lessons learned, experiment and building use cases that can be aligned with business goals, monitoring your success, mitigating that risk before you release any application. In some instances, you may not. With generative AI, it was important for us to get our arms around what the technology could do, understand it, understand what our role would play inside of either building applications or consuming applications. We chose to secure a private GPT-4 model, which we call Baker Brain, and we worked alongside of our attorneys, our leadership, and supporting departments to identify over 100 use cases. We spent an enormous amount of time working on our security due diligence and building vendor risk assessments and drafting AI guidelines. We are continuously trying to engage our firm, our attorneys, our clients, and staff to help make sure that they're aware of what this tool may be able to do. This innovation framework can take many forms, but I hope this serves as a good roadmap for you to evaluate new technology like generative AI. Elaine, now that we have an innovation framework in place, how about you share some of our use cases and a tool that will help with prioritization?
One tool we used when applying the innovation framework to generative AI is what we call the impact effort chart. This chart will allow you to organize your use cases according to their business value and feasibility to your organization. Here you will see where many popular Gen AI use cases could land on this chart. In the upper right quadrant, or the high effort, high impact, you'll see the litigation data extraction use case I presented earlier. While it has the potential to have a high impact at our firm, it will also take a large amount of effort. The upper left quadrant contains use cases that will have a high impact but will require a lower amount of effort. Think of these as your low-hanging fruit. While the lower right quadrant is also low effort, these use cases will have a low business value. Lastly is our lower right quadrant, where you'll find use cases that are both high effort and low impact. Use this tool as a way to help you organize your potential use cases and effectively evaluate where you should start.
Thanks, Elaine. Here's another tool that we'd like to share with you, the vendor risk assessment. It is inherently important for you to understand what models they're using, all the way down to what contractual terms that you and your organization are willing to agree to. Along this journey, you should be asking how they might modify the large language model, whether it's in beta or production. How are they storing and for how long are they storing information that you input and or output from these models? What inputs or filters that they may append or apply to them? And then probably one question that's most often overlooked include what additional costs will apply with the use of large language models? Do I have an ability to control or cap those costs? This assessment has been rolled up for you. There's going to be many other questions that you're going to want to follow up on, but I think if you start here, you will have a nice roadmap for understanding what risk you may have to assume when a vendor is using a large language model. Elaine, I'm going to pass it back to you to show some of the work that we did this summer regarding generative AI and data extraction.
So, can generative AI solve our unstructured data problem? Based on the experimentation we've done with complaints, it seems like a promising tool that can solve it. As you can see, using our Baker brain, we're able to harvest tangible insights in categories where the answers only lie within unstructured data, without any hallucinations. While generative AI is not the answer to all of our problems in the legal industry, it's clear that with a good data strategy and working through the innovation framework, we're able to turn the right use cases into wins.